Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Max Verstappen Division, Season 1, Race 8. And we find ourselves here at the home of Glitz and Glam, the big show, the big one. We're in Las Vegas, and, the term of what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas is not applicable here because we are live streamed. So it's going to be spread across the internet where everyone can find it. No secrets are going to be heard here. This track. Never actually raced in a league race here personally, but I don't mind the track at all. I know it's got a lot of hay, but there's good opportunities for overtaking, which we'll probably see later on. Just the 15 drives again this week, so we will be going straight to Quali 2. Hopefully everyone will retire quite sharpishly. Compared to last week, we did have to wait an absolute age, and all you've got to do is choose your setup and move on. And I think that's good for everybody, that they'll not have to hear my voice for an extra 20 minutes. So we've got one or two left to retire, and then we shall crack on with proper qualifying. This track itself, it's 6.2 kilometres, 17 corners, an anti-clockwise track, which has a lot more of them now on the F1 calendar. 11 to the left, 6 to the right, and there's 3 long, lengthy straights. There's more straights than a Texan barbecue, 2 of which are DRS zones. So, like I said, there should be quite a lot of overtakes, hopefully, if there's some close racing. Had a good race last week, obviously at Silverstone, for those that have watched. And hello to everybody that is watching currently. I don't know if anyone is. I haven't seen anyone wave yet, but I'm sure we'll get 1 or 2 views later on. But yeah, last week's race was an exciting one. Josh in the Alfa Romeo won it, current league leader, and I'm under the impression that he will win. And Noodles just commented, Josh can potentially win the championship today. It all depends if he actually performs and finishes high up in the grid, or I think his teammate potentially may miss next week. So on his Holly Bobs, everyone needs a holiday, but Josh needs to perform. He could be taken out first corner. You never know. And also, constructors could be tied up quite soon too. Second place is the Red Bull team and 117 points behind. And it's going to seem hard to catch unless, well, if the Red Bull boys have the same performance as last week, it should be tied up quite quickly. And then Haas is an extra 22 points behind. So should be an interesting battle, but I think we'll have an idea of how the league standings are going to fall with 2 races to go after today. So quite an interesting qualifying. I had an exciting one last week actually. We had Alfie, Robin, Trappy, and Mad all battling for that P2 spot, all on different strategies, so you can never call of how it will actually fall. But then a safety car came out on lap 20, and that just threw a big spanner in the works, and made it really exciting finish. So I was off the edge of my seat. I couldn't speak. I went really high pitched. Now, 1 or 2 last week came out on the intermediates and wets, and I had no idea why, and nobody actually explained to me why. I wish somebody would explain to me why, and I hope nobody's coming. Yeah, we've got Mad coming out on a set of wets, and unless it's an actual glitch, but I think I had a look last week and his tyres were blue. Let's have a look, shall we? I think that's a glitch. Let's have a look at Robin. Yeah, he's out on the inters. Now, is that an actual glitch? We'll have to have a conversation, but I think, it's just ridiculous. I just don't get it. The track's dry. Now we will wait for these cars to navigate round, and we'll do a hot lap in a second and show the sights and look at all those spectators rammed to the rafters. Oh, there is some one or two empty seats. It looks like the Etihad. You got no fans. You got no fans. It's generally the case, no. Okay, so on the Saturday, you get people going round, having a look at the sights, buying the merch, and then all the seats are full on the Sunday for the race. So well, I think the Haas is currently at the front with Gio. Now the Haas has got a bit of battle with Red Bull for constructors, but he is the lone racer currently. So as we'll flick over actually and watch his lap as he makes his way round the final corner to the start-finish straight. And that's turns 1 or 2. You want to flick down to third gear, nice and smooth round by the apartment. It's a two corner, and again 3 and 4 2 corner going around Rochelle Avenue intersection onto the DRS straight at Cobble Lane. Now this is a great opportunity for overtaking. Look out for that braking zone though. You don't want to hit that wall. Coming on turn 5 round the Caesars Forum onto Westchester Drive. A nice little kink round the left, round turn 6, and then a quick 7 and 8 as we look at the glorious MSG Sphere. Who knows what's going to be on there later on. It could be my face. You'd be lucky. Around the elevated monorail corner. And then you want to open up that throttle coming round turn 10. Around Sands Avenue and the Venetian. Loads of sights. We're going to see loads of hotels. We're going to see loads of casinos as we're whipping round here now. And onto the strip on turn 12. Open up that DRS in a few metres time. There we go. Ka-ching! The DRS is open. We're on the strip. 1.9 kilometres on the longest straight on the calendar. Passing Mirage, passing Caesars Palace, passing the Bellagio Fountains, passing the Flamingo. Oh, it's a glorious sight. As we're whipping up to turns 14, 15, 16. The chicane, you've got to get it right. Stick over that corner as you're passing Planet Hollywood, and then you're opening up that throttle again, down Harmon Avenue, up to turn 17 in the final left corner, to the start-finish straight, and we're going to come in with a 1:32.7. Decent time, I think, but I don't think it's the quickest time, as Josh qualifies a 33.2 on the mediums though. So he's going for a bit of an alternate strategy, trying to save some tyres. It might just be an out lap as well, just trying to get some heat into those tyres. But yeah, great lap there actually from Gio. Now what was it, I think a low 32s, you know, might do qualifying if I remember rightly. But like I say, I haven't done that much racing on the others are and Mead and Wex. We'll stick with Marty. I haven't done much league racing on this, so I'm not 100% sure, but I have a feeling low 32s is going to be a good time as coming round onto the Las Vegas Strip, where we will find the end of Sector 2. Marty is on the medium, so he's not going to be near the top. He's just going to be getting a bank lap in, I think, as the 1:12.9 after Sector 2. It is showing the fastest second sector, but we shall see. Marty, okay, new with us last week. Didn't have the greatest of starts and races. He was on the back foot from the beginning. But you've got to finish, haven't you? And he did well to do that, I think. So jumped up to P6 with a 35.6. So a lot of time still to find, but you will find them on those softs. We'll jump with Italy. There's got to be glitch. I've got to check with these lads afterwards. I've got to check with these. It's going to do me in otherwise. Unless, I don't know. Are you just doing a bank lap on some tyres that you know you're not going to use and just saving your mediums and softs? It's just so strange for me. But we'll see when he gets a time in. And it is a P8 on a 38. So he's definitely on intermediates and must be that. But I just don't get it. It's mad. It's a mad strategy. I just wouldn't do it. Devil's jumping in the pit. It's Lee who just set a time, and Marty will be jumping in the pits unless he's doing looks like he's doing another hot lap to me. Looks like he's doing another hot lap to me. On those mediums, he's got enough ERS in the bank to go down that strip. Now, what I did know that I wasn't sure of is just how much fuel gets burned. But what we'll probably see, what I saw in Qatar when I raced there, was that absolutely nails your fuel. But this doesn't. Like, it ekes probably like 0.01, 0.02 per lap, which, considering the amount of time you're on the throttle, is quite good. As Marty jumps up a place to P5 with 33.4, so does get a better time, bit less fuel in his truck. We jump on Noodle, who's on a hot lap, going down, starting the Las Vegas straight after turn 12. Wave to all those people burning away their money at the tables. Whoever's at the casino tables and not watching the F1, they need shooting. Go home. What's the point of you? It's a 1:10, so that's a good couple of seconds up on Marty. So potentially looking at near the top of the grid as he's... Ooh, I made a mistake. Sorry, guys. As we were just going down Harmon Avenue, around the last bend, and comes in at P1, provisional P1 of 32.6. So just over a tenth ahead of Gio with a great lap from Noodle. F1 Magic at set time. Coming out sector 1. A couple of tricky corners there. You've got to get that turning correct, otherwise your exit's not going to be that great. Like most corners, to be honest. As we're coming round and ending sector 1 with a 43.9. So it's a reasonable time, and he is fighting for the championship still, fighting for the constructors still. So he's all to play for. Like I say, he is on holiday, but bragging rights is always about those bragging rights. So yeah, gets that foot down coming into sector 2. 1:09, so it's quicker than Noodle, which at the moment will take him to the top of the leaderboard. But get that corner right, skip over turn 15. That'll save you loads of time. You don't want to follow the track round, not like an absolute noob. Flick it round, stay on the inside, and goes provisional pole with a 32.0. So I think quali pole is going to be quicker than I thought. We could even go up to mid-31s. Woo! Now that's hot. It's a bit quick for me, to be fair. I don't think I can get that fast. I think a 32.2 is probably my limit. But that is on max of everything. It's a great time from Mad there. On provisional pole, we've got Sander in P5, who's almost 3/10 up on his time. In the McLaren, in the lone McLaren. Where's your teammate? Is he dead? He wasn't here last week either. Where's your teammate? You need him to fight constructors. Got Aston behind him. Is he robbing robbing the... no, he's on an outlap. I was going to say, is he robbing that slipstream? He's not. Comes round the penultimate chicane before the last corner. Will he go up any further? He could potentially jump up a place to provisional P4 ahead of Trappy. He comes round, and he does. P4 with a 32.8. Great lap from Sandler. Got Lucky Stout jumps into the pit. Lucky Stout into the pits. And we've got 2 left to set a time. Who have we got ahead? It is the Alpine of Anthrax, who had to put a good show for us last week. Great battling. And I think just his strategy ended up just dying off a little bit. He needs that car to get out of his way, which the Alpha does. It's worst of having a car. You want to well, it's down this straight. You want to get the maximum slipstream, and then just click out the way. But you want your teammate there really, because they'll whip out the way for you. Looked a little bit risque there. Hit the wall. Hope that hasn't jeopardised his final stretch round. Where's Anthrax going to come up around the final corner? And a provisional P4 that will take him through to Quali 3. with a 32.802. So great lap from him. And then we've got finally VDV to set a time. 1:10.4. So that's not going to get him to the top, but it does get him to P2 with a 32.4. So it's a great lap, and there'll be one or two of them at the top there that'll be thinking, I don't need to set another time. I think I'm safe. There we only need to lose another 4 drivers. We've lost a driver. Who's gone? Who's gone missing? I thought we had 15. Someone's flew off. Someone's left Vegas. Someone's had too much. If you can't last the weekend, you're not good enough. You don't deserve to be on the grid. I think we've got Josh, who hasn't set a time on the softs yet. Coming at the end of sector 1. 7/10 up on his time, which would take him to mid 32s currently, but he's still got time to find in the rest of the lap on those soft tyres. He'll be looking to get near the top, but you don't need to be top currently, as long as you finish in that top 10, like I said, and then you'll move through to quali 3. I think we've got 1 or 2 drivers this week, because we are in the glitz and glam. Madjer is retired from this session. Thinking his time's good enough, and I think it will be, as we'll just see his teammate Josh come over the line. Will he take provisional pole? No, Jules is P3, but I think that will be good enough on a 32.4. So I reckon if 32. Oh, I think you're going to have to get a 32.8 to qualify. I think so. Who've we got ahead here? Who've we got ahead? I think it's Devils, so we'll stick with Devils for now, as I think they will be doing their last quali lap of the session, as BDV retires as well. But yeah, I think we've got 1 or 2 that are... It's Devil. What's it saying here? Yeah, he's in sector 3. 1 or 2 sporting. I think it looks like he's going in the pits. Yeah, he's going in the pits, and that's him. He's going to be out. We're not going to be seeing him in quali 3. I think we've got the Williams next of Denny. Like I said, I'm going to say it again. I've got a friend called Denny, and he's slower than this Denny. Denny 89. And he's going to come over the line. Will he jump up into the top 10? And does not. He stays P11. I don't know if he'll have enough in his tyres. He's got enough in his ERS to do another lap. So we'll see him again. We've got a Tauri coming round of Italy. Will he jump up? And jumps up to P10. Knocks Lucky Stout out to the top 10. But he is on the cusp of being knocked out, I reckon. We've got the Alpine. We've got another Alpine of Robin. Will he jump straight in? Will he think he's safe? I think he is just safe, but he's not going to jinx it, and he does go P2. Great lap from him. We've got Mercedes of Marty. Straight in the pits. He must have made a mistake. As Lucky Stout comes in and knocks its Lee out. Jumps into the top 10 as we get a McLaren now coming over the line. Sander must go in the pits. Yeah, there's no point in going around again. He is in there, but I think we must have a couple of cars just left to go. So you've got Denny on his lap coming round. He needs to bank this lap. We'll see in a minute where he is coming at the end of sector 2. And he's up to just over 2.5 tenths. And that, I don't think, is good enough to get him into the top 10. Not even to get him up a place, but you never know how much time he's got left in the rest of this lap. As he's coming round the final turn 17 with a 1:33.5, but it's not quite enough to jump him up a place, but a great lap. He did find plenty of time there. We've got... Yeah, we're going to stick with Denny here then. Sorry, Beast Modus. Beast Modus on his last corner. Will he jump up? And gets to P10. Great final driver. Going over the line and getting that final top 10 spot. Knocking out Lucky Stout. He's not lucky now. He's an unlucky Stout. He's an unlucky start, and unfortunately does make it 3 to quali 2. And there we have it, guys. Our top 10 who will be moving to quali 3. And we'll just wait for the game to catch up with the drivers, because I think everyone has brushed their hands of this game now. And oh, what's going on there? Did you brush your hands and let go of the wheel? Careful with your wings. There's only so many. Ask the Williams team. Yeah, I think a lot of people are hankering now for F1 24. Not long to go now. I think there's only like 6-7 weeks left to go. I didn't play the beta. If anyone played the beta, give some feedback on the chat if you're watching. We'll go through the standings here. So, the top 10, Mad on a 32.0. Bit of time there, but I think there's time ahead of the other drivers. But I think there's plenty of time to come from everyone else. I think they're just setting some laps to make sure they qualify. Anthrax at a P2, VDV in a P3, and Josh P4. Noodle coming home in a P5, Gio in C6, 7, Sander in the McLaren, Martin P8, Trappy in P9, and Beast Modus in P10. And we lose lucky or unlucky Stout. It's Lee, Denny, and Devils, unfortunately. We will, after quali 3, folks, have a 5-minute break so everyone can have a toilet break. I don't need a toilet break. I had it before I come. I'm organised, see. There's no pressure on me. I don't need a poo. Unlike these lot, they will be shaking. Shaking like a shitting dog. Get these back on ready. Can somebody tell me? Noodle, come on, tell me, man. Why are people qualifying and doing a qualifying lap on wets and intermediates? Just it befuddles me. Befuddles me. I think the hat is jumping out first again. We'll join Gio. We'll join Gio in another lap. Looks like Josh is going to be doing a lap on hards here. So, of course, everyone that knows that's raced, you can set what tyres you use throughout the qualifying and race weekend. So maybe Josh has opted for a couple of extra sets of hard tyres. So he's going to use one just to do a bank of time in the qualifying. And actually, I think we'll be on a Red Bull this time. It's a bit of a VDV. VDV sounds like an STD to me. Best go to the doctors and get checked out. But yeah, I'm befuddled why people are doing that. Now, I'm looking forward to this race. Everyone's going to be jockeying for position. Racing at speeds of 250 mile an hour, especially down this straight. He's not doing it now. He's having a bit of a wiggle, shaking her ass. I see you, baby, shaking her ass. Such a it's not a fan favourite, this track, but it's such an adrenaline pumping track. White knuckle ride, so many fast corners. With that Vegas backdrop as well, it's fantastic. Now he's going to whip onto that hot lap fuel setting as we go back around and do another lap. Coming up to the apartments, turns of 1 and 2. Oh, sliding a bit there. Didn't seem to have full control, but keeps it steady. Bit out, in and out. Goes quite wide, and he's almost lost it. Oh, and he's not going to be happy there. I don't think he's going to be carried on with this lap. He's just going to try and set a time. Is he going to back out? But yeah, did not look happy. I don't know what setup he's got in here, but he's got his ice skates on. Or at least he doesn't. He's trying to ice skate in socks. Anyone try and he's going again. He's got to give up here. We're not watching him anymore. Let's stay with him in case he crashes. It'll be absolute gold, streaming gold. Come on, let's watch him go off. He's not happy on these tyres. Are they used tyres? I'll ask him afterwards. Are they used? I can feel how much my pad's vibrating. He's not happy on these tyres. These have got to be used. These aren't nice tyres. And I think, yeah, quality 3, it'd probably be wise to use some, yeah, with 111, he's not going to get a good enough time here. But, I think, I'm pretty sure they've got some ice rinks inside the hotels if you want to have a go. But, yeah, I think most people will probably use some used tyres on their first run, save some tyres for later on as he goes to 33, and that's definitely going to be beaten. Look at him sliding there, that's carnage. As Gio comes over the line with a 132, so we can definitely see we've got a couple of Alpines, and he's gone straight in the wall. He couldn't stop. What did you do that for? Someone's cut his brakes. There's sabotage going in here as Anthrax goes to P3 and Beast Modus in a P4, but Gio, what are you doing there? Put your brakes on, son. I've got Tari coming home here for his first hot lap. Trappy with coming home in P2 with a 32.5. It's a good lap from Gio, but I think he's going to be beaten by one of these two guys who are absolutely hustling it throughout the league. They both Alfa Romeos have won any of the races, and he's actually going on a hot lap. Silly sausage me. We'll see what Josh does then. Coming home and taking the first lap in. Actually comes a 32.282. So I reckon they're probably used tyres. But yeah, it'd be interesting if Gio can remain in that top position as we see Red Bull of Noodle coming home and gets P3, 32.5. So there's loads of time for drivers to find here. Sander. His first flying lap, out lap, flying lap, out lap. I'm a liar. Marty, P8, 37.3. He didn't have a good lap there. And he's struggling to brake. The vibrations coming off my pad is intense. As we see, everyone now jumping in the pits that haven't done a hot lap. Beast Modus isn't on hot lap. Struggling to brake there and almost hitting the wall. He could have nearly said goodbye to his wings. He's not in the Red Bull. Wings. Trappy will be jumping in now, and I think we've got Mad coming round on his hot lap. Sector 3 was a 110, so that'll put him near the top. It's just how he's navigated that last chicane. As he's coming round to set a time, is he going to be taking provisional pole? And he does with a 31.7, and we are in the 31s with a fantastic time. Now that's the time to beat. I think one or two can, but I think he's gone out on new tyres to get that time. Great lap. As next we've got, I think Noodle will be jumping in. Yeah, he's going straight in the pits. Sander is on his hot lap, 111. That'll probably take him, I think, maybe up to P6, P5, P6 it is. Call me Mystic Meg, because I can see into the future. And no, well, I dropped to P7. That fell short, didn't it? What a dickhead I am. Marty. Is he on another outlap? What did he? I think he just set another time. So yeah, great lap from Marty going up to P6. And everyone else now sitting in the pits. Everyone's sitting in the pits now, waiting for that clock to tick down. I think we'll probably see people coming out between the about 2.5 minutes to go. Trying to cross that line with the track at optimum temperature with fuel as low as possible. We are, of course, qualifying in the night. It will be a night race. It's a night race for two reasons, really. One, for probably the main reason, is that it's an adequate time for the European audience, the European market, that people like myself don't have to get up at 1 o'clock in the morning. No one gets up at that time unless you're going on holiday. But yeah, it can be shown at like 6 in the morning or something, 7 in the morning, where people can get up and have a nice coffee and watch it. but the other reason is because it is Vegas as well. So having a 10 o'clock race start time, like any other entertainment they have in the City of Sins, like your boxing and your music shows, they're all late showings, and so everyone all the audience here can go out for a nice slap up dinner, go and entertain their guests, and then sit down for a nice exhilarating race on the F1. I think I got cut off earlier, but I think there's one or two drivers sporting a nice bespoke helmet, which I don't know how much we'll see of them. I think when they do a cockpit, there might be one there on Noodle. I think he's done one for himself, but I don't know how many we'll see unless we get a cockpit view. As I think, who we got out first? It is Noodle who's first on his out lap. He'll be first one to set his time. So we'll stay with him and then follow the rest who's out quite early. He's going to have a trouble. The problem with coming out too early is you're going to have to navigate traffic for the people that are coming out late. And this is the time now where people will be coming out. And he's just come up to the final corner. So he's going to be hitting people and hoping that they get out of the way. And as everyone knows in league racing, it's not as easy as you think. See, someone just come out pits then. Risky as he's just come around turns 3 and 4 around Shell Avenue intersection. As we saw VDV slipping like crazy, his teammates. Not trying to take advantage of any slipstream there, just keep it nice and straight. Coming round turn 5, turn 6, and then come round to the MSG sphere. Is my face there yet? Hello, can you see me? No, can't see me, sorry. Sorry, lads, you can't see me. As we're coming up to the end of Sector 1, and we'll have a good time indication of where his time is on his final lap, and he is almost 4 tenths up, which currently will jump him up to P2. It's not quite as fast as Mad. There is 2 sectors still to go, but it does show what a good time that Mad in the Alfa Romeo has done, as he's putting his foot down, coming down the glorious strip. Not quite close to get that slipstream. Will McLaren get out of the way for him? Will he get out of the way for him? You don't want to jeopardise your time on this final straight. Fantastic there. And he will get a slipstream off the McLaren now. McLaren hasn't decided to get out of the way. And he's coming home. Will he take P1? And he's P2. P2. He's not going to get any higher than that, but it's 32.0. So a great lap there from Noodle. I don't know who's the next one's going to be. Let me just have a quick scan. I think everyone else is on the Alfa Romeos that are on an out lap. So it will be the other Red Bull, I think, that we're going to get home first. So we'll flick on to Noodle. To VDV. Marty has retired. Gio's retired. They've probably had really shit flying laps, made mistakes, and there's no point. So the highest Gio's going to finish is a P3. VDV down that straight, and that Alpine behind him. Is it Anthrax behind him? It is Anthrax behind him, so he's going to be taking advantage down those straights of that slipstream. It may hamper him in the corners, but he's going to be lapping that up. And VDV 1.2 seconds up on his time, which would take him to potentially a P2. And just skims that wall a bit. Has that hampered his exit coming up to turn 17? We shall see, unless it was a glitch with my eyes. I do need glasses, but he comes home in P3. Anthrax Robin, P6. Didn't quite take advantage of those slipstreams. And it's a P2 and P3 currently for the Red Bulls. Sander in the McLaren coming home in P9 as we see Trappy and stays P7. So we've just got now the 2 Alfa Romeos. One is currently on provisional pole, the other is not, Will Mad increase his time from he jumped straight in the pits? He's made a mistake, so it's down to Josh now. He's 3/10 of his time. It doesn't seem like it may be good enough, but is it? He doesn't. He comes home in P2, and Mad takes pole position going into the race, and Josh will be kicking himself for that. He wants this league wrapped up as soon as possible, and his teammate will not be helping him. We did see last week, to be fair, that that team play doesn't. They're not really playing as teammates, to be fair. They're just very good drivers that happen to be finishing near the top of the grid, are consistent drivers and turn up to every race. So that's potentially why they've got so many points. They could have played a bit of team play last week, but no, Josh steamed past Mad and left him for dead. So, and then they ended up having those penalties. If they worked together, they could have pulled away. But yes, this is our top 10 going into the race, and we've got the two Alfa Romeos on the front row with Mad and Josh joining him in P2. They've got the two, followed by the two Red Bulls, who are in second place in constructors in P3 and P4 of Noodle and VDV. Gio, the competing Haas in P5, and joining me on third row is Anthrax in the Alpine. We've got P7 of Trappy and Marty in P8. Great show from him on his second race with the Max Verstappen division. And then rounding off the top 10 on the fifth row, we've got Sander in the McLaren and Beast Modus in the Alpine. We will be having a few minutes break, folks, while everybody uses the facilities, grabs a drink, goes and makes sweet love to their woman. 5 minutes is enough for some. And then we will be joined at the race. Now, it'd be interesting to see what strategies people go for. It looks like it's a dry race. We are, of course, in the middle of the Nevada desert. It probably rains about 1 minute a year, but we never know. It is on random weather mode. I can probably bet my life. I can bet my 9 toes, my 12 fingers, that we will be having a dry race. So the strategy I'd probably go for would be mediums to hards. If I was at the front, maybe do an alternate strategy. If I was nearer the back, chances of a safety car are potentially high. If you look at the qualifying laps that were on then, we had someone go bullet straight into the wall. Again, I reckon it's a Red Bull sabotage to me. Snipping the brakes on that Haas, trying to secure that P2 in constructors. Medium hards, and then potentially lap 12. But it depends on tyre wear. Like I say, I don't think fuel plays that massive factor. If you're banking on a safety car, which we did have one sprout last week, then I'd probably underfuel a little bit, but I wouldn't. I'd probably just do a little bit over. The last thing you want to do, and I've seen it in so many races where people underfuel and banking on a safety car, and it never comes, and then they end up with a lap to go and watching all these turtles overtake them, waving at them because they're so slow. We'll just hang about. Anybody who's watching, put in the chat who you reckon's going to win. I think we've got to can't look past the two Alfa Romeo boys. Penalties shouldn't be a factor in this race. There's not really that many curbs to get a penalty on. You can't really cut many corners, so this shouldn't be playing a factor. So you'd have to go with the Alfa Romeo boys, and I'd go with who should I go for? I don't know. No, I'm gonna go for Josh. I think he's been so consistent. He's won quite a bit during the season. I'm gonna go for Josh on P1. I'm gonna go for Noodle on. I don't know. He has a bit of collision sometimes. No, I'm gonna go VDV on P2, and then I'm gonna go for Robin, Anthrax Robin on P3. And I hope I don't jinx any of you. But if I'm saying it, I'm Mystic Meg. I know what's happening. And then you drop a place. So, who knows? I don't really know. Anyone here been to Vegas? I've been to Vegas. It was an absolute ball. Spent 3 days there. 3 days is enough. You know, forget all the drinking and the gambling and the women and whatever comes with the old Vegas. The heat in the sun is crazy, and like, mate, I'm fair skinned. One step onto that pavement and I went crispy. I had some fat guy next to me sniffing, thinking I was a bit of roast meat. But it's an absolute ball. You don't have to go outside. All the casinos are attached. You can just and you know they keep you in there. They keep you in there. They've got lions in cages. They've got all you can eat buffets. You don't have to move from your seat. People come up to you and you order your drinks. If you're gambling at tables, the drinks are free. It's just, yeah, it's such a... You've got to go in with a fat wallet. Hopefully you come out with a fat wallet, but yeah, the amount of people that actually do. Vegas won't be Vegas with it. And if drinking and gambling isn't your scene, you can always go and see a show. Especially Indian. Oh, and we're here. It's come out of nowhere. Ricky Orton, RKO out of nowhere. That's 5 lights. And the game's trying to catch up with me, and we're away. And the 2 Alfa Romeos are ahead, followed by the 2. The 2 Red Bulls and Trappy. We'll just see if anyone's lost any positions, gained a position. So Trappy has gained 2 positions. Dropped ahead of Gio and Robin, who was my step out for P3, who's battling there with Marty, just taking him on the outside. And we've just started seeing the McLaren spin. Bit of a collision. Hopefully he hasn't got a damaged wing. But and Denny has had a bit of a spin earlier on. Bit of carnage there, and you... Come on. Have you passed your driving test? You don't need to spin that. Don't need to do that many turns. But yeah, it would be. And Danny's left the session. What's going on there? But yeah, a few bit of different strategies going on here. So Trappy on the hards, hoping to do a longer stint. Potentially expecting a safety car to come out later on. We've got Mad and Italy on the softs, so trying to pull away. We did see this Trappy. Looking Gio overtaking Trappy. They're all overtaking Trappy on his hard tyres, but he's not going to let that bother him. And Robin overtaking Gio as well as it goes three wide going into the chicane, but they're all come out safe as they're going now 4 round the final corner. Please make it safe. There's quite a lot of track there. If you hit each other there, then you deserve to go out. But they're all going single file rounds. But Trappy's dropped down now to P9. Those hard tyres are taking a while to heat up as Italy jumps, goes on the outside of Gio and overtakes him with a great overtake there going around turns 4. DRS won't open until the next lap, so we're not going to see... we'll see a lot more of overtaking or advantageous overtaking when that moment happens. Mad is going to want to get out of that DRS zone from his teammate, because his teammate's going to not let him get away, but he's also not going to play that team game. He will try and pull away, but they have broken that gap from Noodle and VDV. The 2 Red Bulls are together, and they're going to work together to try and catch up with the 2 Alfa Romeos in front. When DRS activates, another 2 seconds behind because of the battling, I think, to be fair. But now Robin has managed to give himself a gap between the cars behind him in comfortable P5. And we've got Marty, it's Lee and Gio, who's looking for that overtake. The side-by-side going down the Las Vegas Strip, and it's Lee. Is he going to make that overtake? Just on the outside, and makes that overtake. Great. Just a little bit of bump in there, just clips the wall. They're going side by side. Trappy and it's Lee down the final corner. Two teammates are not going to want to collide. You're going to want to work together and try and get past that Haas. As we Trappy probably want to let it's Lee pass because Josh is using DRS, and they've completely used their ERS. Absolutely, everyone has used their ERS. Why have you used it so much so early on? Amateur moves, guys. Come on, save it. There's still another 22 laps to go, and you've spunked your ERS, and because of the straights, you're not going to get it back. Like, it's absolutely the amount of DRS you've got in this track. And like I said, I haven't done league race on this, but I've got a bit of common sense about me. You spunked it all, and the cars behind will take advantage of it. So Noodles used all his as well. You need a finger pointing at you as well. You've used it all. You've got your teammate behind you, or just sit in your DRS. He'll overtake you when he wants to, but he's got that ERS. You've got Anthrax, who, he's gradually catching up. Who's got plenty of ERS, and Mad. Just pulling aside, don't want it to collide and battle too hard. You know that DRS is quite effective. But Josh is now in the lead. Now, is he going to play that team game? Or is he... I'll get rid of that. What's he sitting there? Why didn't no one tell me? Right, I'll tell myself because I know no one's watching. They're not going to really play that team game, Josh. He's going to try and break that zone and pull away. Mad's trying to get back for ERS, but Josh is just pumping it away. He's pumping it like a Swedish penis pump. As now Matt takes the lead. And the same for the Red Bulls, switching places. VDV jumping ahead of Noodles, and they're going to want to play that team game as Lucky Stout jumps in the early pits. Has he got damage? Currently on the mediums. He's going to go on those hards, hoping for a safety car to get him back in the game. And yeah, there's a wing change. He's had a bit of a wall collision there. Sandler, who's just cruising along again, going to hope for that safety car. So, yeah, we've got the Noah's Ark couple of cars here, 2x2. Robin in P5, who's just under that 2 seconds now, just gradually eking away at that time. And he's got, like I say, he's got that ERS in the bank, unlike the rest of the cars. VDV using his common sense there, as Josh is now doing the overtake down the Las Vegas straight. Jumping ahead of his teammate with the DRS, and we will see Noodle. Is he close enough? Doesn't matter. It's a long straight. Does he have enough, actually? Is there enough? Oh, is he? No, he's not going to do it. How was he not close enough then? As cars jockey down the straight there. We've got Bolo in the lone Ferrari. Currently P11, 3 seconds off the top 10. So he's going to be looking like he's got a lonely race. With the guys battling ahead, he might be able to pull some time back, as it's Lee battling there with the Alpine. Will he try and take him on the inside of turn 1? No, just slots in behind. He's going to wait for that DRS. Those softs are going to... I can feel the vibrations again on my in my pads. He's going to want to take him on the straight here. As will we see cars do it? No, doesn't take him there. Is Noodle close enough? No. The first DRS zone not as effective as a lot might think, or they've used all their ERS and it's, like I say, it's not as effective. They're all going to wait for the final DRS of the lap, as we're just coming around the end of sector 1 for the Alfa Romeo cars. Still close enough, but they are 3.3 seconds ahead of the Red Bulls, slowly slipping back. So they are currently working together, not battling. Is Mad close enough? It just looks like it's dropped a little bit, 7 tenths behind. I think this car is behind is struggling to navigate those tight corners and those turns with trying to stay within position of them. And yeah, again, the Red Bulls are struggling to overtake. Anthrax is now under 2 seconds, 1.7 seconds, gradually getting closer. Gio's 1.2, he's dropped out of the DRS zone, but is pulling closer. Marty in the Mercedes 1.7, but he does have Trappy for company. He's got plenty of ARS, and he will see that. Will he try and take him on turn 1 or wait for the DRS zone? No, he's going to wait for the DRS zone. Noodle overtakes on turns 2, I think that was. Interesting overtaking position, and I don't know if the VDV's got traction problems, or was that a little wiggle of, what are you doing, teammate? Yeah, bumped me or something, but yeah, and they've dropped an extra second now, so they must have had a bit of a collision, the two Red Bull drivers. They are compatriots as well, so I don't think they want to be doing too much battling, as we do have Robin, and who've we lost it? It looks like Sander. He's had a bit of a spin in turns 1 and 2. I hope he hasn't damaged his wing and lost a bit of traction. It is a tricky corner if you put your foot down too hard. Yeah, now Anthrax Robin has joined the Red Bull fight and has got Gio coming up for company as well. This will be an interesting battle for P3 as VDV jumps in front now with the DRS. Robin is squeezing up. Is Noodle vulnerable? He's not vulnerable now, but maybe vulnerable on the next lap. As Trappy jumps into P7, overtaking Marty down the straight. Bolo doing the same for It's Lee. You just can't defend it. The straight is too long to try and battle, so you just got to wait. You just got to let them go, slip back in their slipstream, and then fight another day. As we still got Mad with Josh now behind him. They're very close together. They don't want to collide. As Sander's gone off in sector 2 again. Where's he gone? Oh, he's lost his wing. He's going to have to pit now. Oh, he's not having a good one, Sander. Stay in the race, mate. As Noodle jumps back into P3 now. Those two battling will keep Anthrax in contention and bring Gio closer. We've now got a battle for P3s. Devils jumps ahead of Bolo, who is on the hards, who has pitted, who's just come out the pits, I think, actually. So he's jumped onto the hards, an early pit stop from him. I wonder if he had any damage, but Devils is now in P12. Those four hoping for a safety car. So we've got Josh now, who's overtaken up into P1. Mad P2. Consistent 4.4 seconds ahead of the P3 battle. We've still got the three drivers, and Gio is gradually closing. But we are down the the Las Vegas strip. Noodle is vulnerable. Will Anthrax overtake? And he does. And he's split the Red Bulls. And Noodle's trying to battle, but he can't do it. He's got nothing to battle with. And we now have VDV in P3. What a mouthful that is. More a mouthful than my lady said. I don't have a lady. Disclaimer. We've got Anthrax in P4. And have we lost? I think we had an issue with the Ferrari. No. Yeah, we've got the three going around there. And Gio's just slightly getting closer. He's just going to get a sniff into that DRS zone, and they'll be all part of those fun and games. Josh still in P1. We'll have the tyres to go a little bit longer as Denny jumps. It's Lee jumping into the pits on those softs. Those softs are wearing a bit. Jumping onto the mediums, I would have probably gone hards, unless he's hoping for a safety car. I don't think the mediums are going to get to the rest of the race. It's 17 laps. Risky strategy, that one, but it could pay off for him. As just going down the DRS. No, we're not. We're past that one. We're just coming down Sands Avenue with these guys as we go down the Las Vegas strip now. Mad's tyres must be wearing down now. He's struggling to stay. He's not even pulling away with DRS. And Josh is just absolutely nailed. As now Anthrax jumps up to P3. He's going to be absolutely chuffed. And VDV will now be vulnerable from his teammate. Is Noodle close enough to make the overtake? And they're not. And now for the two Red Bulls have now gone from 3 and 4, have been overtaken by Robin in P3. Gio just slightly slipped back. He's going to want to get a bit closer, especially on the same tyre strategy, as Mad is now in the pits. We'd seen that tyre wear is quite risky. He jumps into the mediums as well, so again I think he's hoping for a safety car. I'll be surprised if the mediums can eke to the end, but his tyre wear will be a bit as he comes out just behind the Alpine of Beast Modus. He's going to want to stay behind too far, and I think Beast Modus might have let him go on the older tyres. Not want to battle too hard and wreck his own race either. He'll be on his own strategy. So P8 currently for F1 Mad, just under 3 seconds behind Marty. So yeah, it'll be interesting later on in the race. But Josh now on a lonely race, 5 seconds ahead from P2, followed by the two Red Bulls. And Robin is pulling away slightly. Is he going to pull out of the... he does have loads of ERS as well to play with, so he might be able to break out that DRS zone. We'll see in a second whether he has. And I think he has. He has broken out of DRS. And that leaves Noodle vulnerable for his teammate. And those Red Bulls are going to have to work together to jump up and try and get closer to Robin, who's a second ahead of Red Bulls. And with no DRS now for half a lap, he's going to be able to pull away a bit and get away from these Red Bulls. We've got Trappy there in P6, who's 5.4 seconds behind P5, but he's on the hard strategy. He'll come into play in the second half of the race on the medium tyres. Marty running a great race, who's just jumping in the pits now. It's a bit of an early gunslinger. Has he killed the Sheriff, or has he been shot in the leg? Jumping on the hards. He will get him to the end of the race, but has he jumped a little bit early? But how effective can the undercut be? We shall see when the other drivers pit. He comes out just ahead of its Lee. I say just ahead. It's about 2 seconds. Not that much difference. I've got the two Alpha. So the Aston Martins of Devils and Lucky just doing their own race at the moment. They're just going to want to hope for a safety car. And the same with Bolo. Same with Bolo and Sandler. Just running their own race now. Keep it clean, keep it on the track. No more spins, no more incidents. Hope for a safety car later on. As VDV now overtakes down the straight on Anthrax. He was in the DRS and Anthrax is vulnerable from Noodle. Will Noodle have enough to overtake? He does not. I think Anthrax still not using his DRS, so he's probably saving that to the end. Last couple of laps to keep himself in touching distance. And we have seen that Gio has now jumped in as part of this battle. He's down to 1 second. Can he get within that DRS within the next lap? And this will make it a 4-car train for that P2 position. We do have F1 Mad, who has pit and pit quite early on the mediums. I think he's hoping for a safety car. He's under 5 seconds behind, so he will have a big advantage with all the other cars, but he's pit way early. Beast Modus jumps in the pit now. Is coming out on the hard, so yeah, he can go to the end of the race on them. Comes out in P11. Nice and clean, consistent race there for Beast Modus, and should get a good, comfortable top 10, you'd like to think, if he keeps going as he does. There's 1 or 2 drivers still yet to pit. I probably think we'll see the mediums jump in the pits in a couple, 2 or 3 laps maybe. As you can see how the speed of F1 Mad here in clean air, fresh tyres. This gap of the cars ahead of him is just dropping like mad. As Noodle now overtakes Robin, his teammate VDV has gained a 1.1 second advantage. As Robin jumps onto P4, GA didn't quite have enough to get himself in as part of that part of that race, but will be there sniffing for the next lap. Sorry folks, I'm a bit distracted. My dog's jumping all over me. He wants to play. As Gio is one of the first, let's say, front runners, other than Mad, to jump in the pits, going onto the hards. And we'll see where he comes out. I think we can see that the undercut is strong, and Gio's coming out on the hards. Will he get ahead? I think he's going to get ahead of the Williams, so he should have plenty of, I think, yeah, Denny's jumping in the pit, so he's got plenty of clean air to work with. He's going to put his foot down. He managed to catch the drivers in front. Let's see where he comes out ahead of the other drivers. He was right behind, so he could, in theory, jump ahead of 3 cars, I reckon. As we've got Josh still P1, 5.2 seconds ahead. Quite comfortable, just keeping it, probably trying to eke out some extra laps on these tyres. The hard tyres will be new tyres, but they are, of course, overall slower. You can see the other cars behind on that straight. VDV is vulnerable to Noodle, to Robin, to Mad. Will we see any overtakes? I don't think they're all quite close enough. I don't think Mad is, but maybe Noodle and his teammate. He's going for the overtake. They're not going to fight it. Robin's going to take for a last-minute ditch dive. Excuse me. And they collide. And VDV goes round. That ditch from Robin, did he manage to break enough? Did VDV turn in too much and give him enough space? We'll have to see on the with the stewards afterwards. I think there'll be a bit of stewards there, but everyone's diving in now. All 3 medium runners there jumping in. Will we see VDV as well? He's going to have to, I think, as he's got damage after that collision as well. Oh, speedy pit crew there. Did you see that? They're like the Flash as they all coming out. Josh does come into P3 now. Trappy's still yet to pit, but he is a good. Is that Gio is ahead of Noodles, so the undercut has worked. He's just ahead of Noodles. With they just have a 1 second tyre advantage, but he does have track position ahead of Noodles and Robin. And VDV, unfortunately, is down to P9, but he's just got to get his head down now. Thanks to power those laps in. But as we said, the undercut is clear. And Mad is about 10.4 seconds ahead of Trappy and Josh on the medium tyres, but will they last to the end? That is the $1 million question. The Devils jumps into the pits. You'd think to be jumping on the hard tyres. No wing change. And we'll come out behind Sander. As Josh makes the overtake on Trappy. Just down the end of the Las Vegas Strip. And now it's the Alfa Romeo's 1-2. Now how quick will VDV takes it to Lee and goes up to P8. He's going to be raging a bit, but he's got to keep his head, keep his focus, and try and get some of that time back as Trappy jumps in the pits, jumping onto the medium. So this is where the race will come back to him, you like to think, on the medium tyres, the fresher tyres, compared to the rest of the I've got to sneeze. 1 second. It's coming. Excuse me. I couldn't keep it in, but he comes behind the rest of the guys ahead of him in P10. But they will battling. He's on the fresher tyres and will look at trying to make that overtake and take advantage of his strategy. As he does straight away, going up to P9. His teammate letting him pass, I think. Doesn't want to hinder him. And he's right behind beast mode. Will he try and take him here, or will be on the straight? So looking at P1 and 2, there is a 9-second gap between the 2 cars. Will Josh try and eke that gap and take a P1? I think Mad will want to have those bragging rights. And then we've got 6.8 seconds as Robin does jump up to P4 now. As have we had? And I think just a bit of a spin there from Sander. There's Robin, he had P3 with Gio and Noodle right behind him. It's a three-way tie for P3, as we love it. Josh is eking away that time. He's gained at 7/10 within a lap. We do have 10 laps to go, so he at that rate he probably won't make it in time. But Mad's tyres will drop off, so it'll be interesting to see. He'll probably come to him later on in the race. But we do have these three, Noodle up and close with Gio. The Red Bulls were looking well, but there was a collision between Robin and VDV. So like I said, we'll have a bit of a steward's inquiry afterwards. And that is the Aston Martin. We've got a virtual safety car out. There's been a collision with Devils. Coming around turn 12 into the start of he's lost his wing. And I don't think anyone's going to pit, surely. We do have Lucky Stout jumping in. He's got nothing to lose. Making a wing change. Getting onto the softs. I don't think we'll see anyone else as it's a virtual. As somehow Mad has eked a bit of time ahead, but it might just be that stupid Delta. Stupid Delta. But yeah, Robin's gained a bit of time ahead of Gio, as Mad is jumping in the pits under the virtual safety car. He'll go onto those softs. Will his teammate follow? He doesn't. He's going for track position. He reckons that Mad won't have enough in him to catch him. But I think it'll be quite interesting, this. Mad on the soft tyres. Will Robin come round ahead? I think Mad's just come out just ahead of him. So he's got 6.7 seconds ahead. As Marty jumps in the pits as well. We've got It's Lee jumping in the pits, jumping on softs. Got nothing to lose. Sander speeding under the VSC. Italian hand gesture. They're just silly mistakes, and I always say those silly mistakes always bite you in the arse. As It's Lee jumps on mediums. Could have gone on softs, mates. Should have gone on softs, but if you've got none left, it doesn't matter. But we are underway again. There's 9 laps to go. Josh is 5.5 seconds ahead, but he's got the hard tyres. Mad is on the soft, so we should see that time drop like crazy. He'll be pulling, hopefully, Robin, Gio and Noodle with him. Robin is with Mad. He's got 2.5 seconds. He's managed to take advantage of the virtual safety car restart, and so he's got a comfortable potential P3. He's probably not going to be serious. Devil's gaming is DNF'd. Has he DNF'd? He's DNF'd in the pits, I think. Or has he DNF'd in sector 2? And have we got another virtual safety car? I don't know. No, they look like they're going at a strong pace, so I think we have unfortunately lost Devils. Mad is now 4.8. He is pulling Anthrax Robin with him. Anthrax does have that ERS to use, and Sanders retired as well. He's retired in the pit, so he's called it a day 2. I don't know why. He's just pit for softs. What's the matter with you? There's only 8 laps to go. Stay in the race, you silly sausages. As is now 4.1. That time is dropping. He's dropping Anthrax as well, but he does have that gap between him to try and consolidate that P3. So it'll be a battle between Noodle and Gio for P4. We've got Trappy on the mediums and P6. He's nearly 9 seconds behind the guys in front. But VDV will be wanting to jump and make that extra place. I think he does have extra pace. And Tricky does have the RS to play with, though. We've got Beast Modus, like I say, in a nice strapping P8. Coming round the sphere. You can't see my face, you might see him at the end. Marty on the soft suit's got a big gap, though. But on the softs, will he be trying to set the fastest lap? We shall see. Denny in the top, who rounds off the top 10 with that last point. on the hards, who's 1.3 ahead of Italy. He'll be trying to catch up and is catching up to try and claim that last point for the AlphaTauri team. And then the final two runners is Bolo and Lucky Stout, as VDV does make the overtake on Trappy down at the back end of the Las Vegas strip, as F1 Mad takes the fastest lap with a 34.6 on his soft tyres. Is now 3 seconds behind Josh with 7 laps to go. Great overtake there by Trappy on from VDV on Trappy, but Trappy's going to be sticking with him coming around turns 1 and 2. We will have a DRS as Italy does jump into that top 10 with another great overtake on that Vegas strip. VDV is vulnerable to a DRS down the straight. Will Beast try and do it? No, he tucks in behind. Coming around turn 5. VDV a little bit wobbly, as we saw in quali, which keeps Beast Motors with him. Coming round the chicane. Still sniffing round and coming down to sector 1. Are we going to see a bit of an overtake happening and down the Vegas strip? I think so. He's so close. VDV has no ERS, so he's got Trappy has plenty of ERS to play with, but VDV gets better traction off that after turn 12. The DRS is strong though. Tucks in that slipstream at 1.9 kilometres straight. Will he tuck in on the side? He does, and makes that overtake. Great overtake from Trappy. We saw that coming a mile away. Doodle didn't manage to make the overtake on Gio. And as I mentioned, we've got the 2 Alfa Romeos with Mad now steaming up almost 1.5 seconds behind Josh with 6 laps. Is Josh going to try and fight it? I think he will. He does know that his championship will be sealed with Mad being on holiday next week, but it's all about race wins, and especially for these guys at the top. Both of them have both won every single race between them for the season. As Mad goes a little wide, it might have just been my eyes, but it looked like he was almost screaming into that wall. But he's now almost 1 second to get in that DRS. I think, will he get enough when he gets over the line to be within that DRS? And I don't think he is as he gets over the line. We'll see in a minute. Pumps whatever ERS he's got, and he is within a DRS, so we should see a nice comfortable overtake here, as both these lads absolutely nail their ERS. It's absolutely mad driver. I keep saying it, I just don't get it. I absolutely don't get it. As I flick around, I just see Mad make that overtake. Now, is he going to make this use of these soft tyres and pull away, or is he going to? I think there's no team game to play. They've got a great advantage as Noodle overtakes Gio and VDV. Both the Red Bulls rolling the sleeves up and taking action, as Mad again takes the fastest lap of 34.5. VDV now up to P6. He is quite a bit of distance behind the cars in front, as Gio's looking to make an overtake round turn 17 and into turn 1. The two guys are absolutely battling hard here. Noodle should have the inside line going into turns 3 and 4, but there's some great battling. Gio will have the DRS down the straight. Noodle trying to break the slipstream. I don't think there's enough. Will he try and make the overtake going into turn 5? And no, just tucks in behind. Great battling there. We haven't seen it happen that often into the first 4 corners, but it's nice to see a little car side by side in corner action. The problem with this track, and I think why a lot of people hate it, is that it can be quite boring in regards to the overtakes and the actual battling, because it is an easy DRS overtake. We'll snick on to see if Josh tries to overtake Mad again, tucking in behind as much as possible. They nearly collided, but what's going on there? They're trying to break each other's slipstreams, and that's quite dangerous, to be fair. I think they'll be having words with each other, and I think the stewards will probably have words with them there. Both weaving crazy on the straight. Absolutely outrageous driving from those pair. But if they collide, hilarious. That'll be hilarious for the championship anyway. As Gio jumps up into P4 with a great rudimentary overtake down the Vegas strip. Noodle in P5 with his teammate, who's slightly catching, but I don't think he's got enough. Marty, great overtaker with Beast again down the strip. So there, as we can see, the DRS is effective. As we see, Mad making an overtake down first DRS zone into turn 5. They are going to be battling hard now. Mad will want to try and pull away. You know how you pull away, mate? If you didn't use your ERS. As ERS and Noodle and Gio battling as well. Coming into as Gio's looking to do an overtake around turn 6. But gets the door closed on him. It's great battling by these two. Playing for position on the same, pretty much the same tyre wear. It's all good news for Robin, who can just keep pulling away and consolidate that P3. He'll love being on that podium again. But this is the action we want to see. Battling hard. As we come round onto the Vegas strip now. I think Josh will probably overtake Mad again. But we'll stick with these pair. As Bolo is out. Where's Bolo? I think he's retired. He's probably just had a bit of a mare. Or just a bit tired. As Gio overtakes Noodle. Great overtake. Trying to defend as much as possible with Noodle there. But there's nothing you can do. As Mad remains in P1. The two guys battling, trying to go battling P17, turn 17. As Josh looks to make the overtake on the inside to turn 1 and 2. Giving each other enough space. But you do not want to see these cars collide for the team's sake. But for the lead's sake, we want them to go flying off. As Josh is currently in P2. Mad's remaining in P1. Josh does have the DRS, so they're tucked up right behind each other. Will we see Gio and Noodle battle? We don't. I think Noodle is just a bit too far behind in this instance. We've got 3 laps to go, so these guys will be battling hard. These are the battles on the pit, as we see as well, we've got Trappy with his medium tyres taking effect now on the medium. Trappy on the medium tyres taking effect on VDV's hard, and VDV's strategy, I think, setup is probably not the best. He doesn't have that good traction by the feel of it. So I think he's going to get overtaken by Trappy on the straight. As we'll whip up and have a look at Josh with the DRS on Mad. Will he look at overtaking, jumping into P1 with 3 laps to go, or is he going to stay tucked it behind and try and take on the last lap? An absolute shit house of a move. Just battle. As we've got Gio and Noodle staying behind. Is he going to be doing the same with a couple of laps left to go? The absolute shit house of a move. We want to see some battling as Trappy remains behind as well. Come on, guys, let's just see some acing. Let's see some action. Let's see some overtaking. Let's not see some tucking behind, and I'll do it on the last lap. Shite house move. This isn't for anything apart from some points on an imaginary board, an imaginary spreadsheet. It means nothing overall. Let's just have some racing, not some, oh, I've got to win. I've got to win. I can't sleep if I've got to win. Noodle right up behind Gio, and then we've got Trappy and VDV, so we've got quite a lot of, we've got 3 races for position as we hit the final couple of laps. So we'll have a check of the race order. So we've got the 2 Alfa Romeos currently with Mad and Josh in P1 and 2. We've got Anthrax Robin in P3 in the Alpine in no man's land, but he'll be happy with that and finish on a podium position if he keeps it clean. And we've got Gio and Noodle battling in P4 and 5. VDV and the other Red Bull battling with Trappy in P7. And we've got Marty in P8. I think he'll be happy with that after last week's show. But 11 seconds behind. And then we've got Beast Mode 4.5 seconds behind P9. And it's Lee rounding off the top 10 in the points, 9.5 seconds behind. And then we've got Denny and Lucky in P11 and 12, who've just had 1 or 2 wobbles throughout the race. So yes, we're coming up to the penultimate lap, lap 24. can Mad drop Josh, or is Josh, like I say, going to be an absolute shithouse and just sit behind him until the last DRS? He is on the hard tyres, but the soft tyres will be taking effect now as well. We've got Gio and Noodle. Will Noodle be doing a shithouse and sitting behind? He's just falling back. Will he fall out of the DRS zone? Will Gio have enough? He does have a little bit more ARS to pull him away. And then we've got Trappy. Will he be doing a shithouse? Oh, there's been collision between him and VDV. And VDV's gone off. He's had 2 instances, lost his wing. Again, it looks like it'll probably be another steward's issue. There was a bit of a wiggle from Strappy, so I don't know if it's an apology or what the hell are you doing? What have you done to me? As Marty jumps up to P7 now. VDV, he's going to have to kick or lose his tyre. I predict that what happened there is as Josh is... Oh, look at him. He's not activated his DRS either. He's an absolute shithouse. He's an absolute shithouse. Look at him. Just slotting behind, waiting for the last race, the last lap. You're dirty. You're dirty. Hasn't even activated his DRS. What a scumbag. Noodle, has he got enough? His DRS is open. As Trappy's, we're losing that battle now. I think what happened with VDV potentially is that, his strategy was all over the... his setup all over the place. And as Beast Mode, I think it's going to overtake him as well in the straight. No, that's Marty. Marty battling, but Marty's going to be able to pull his... He hits the wall. Yeah, he's slipping all over the place. And has just probably slid into Trappy, but we'll find out, won't we? As we've got Mad and then Josh. BDB jumps in the pits. Will he retire? He does retire. He could have stayed out and got her some points, but he's not even none of it. So what do you reckon is going to happen here, guys? We're on the last lap. We're on the last lap here, and we've got Mad with Josh tucked up behind him. Will Josh open up his DRS? Will he open his DRS? Oh, and we've had a bit of a wiggle there from Josh, who's made... I don't know if a bit of a side-by-side collision, and I don't know if there's I don't know what happened there, whether Mad had slowed down to try and get the DRS on him, but there was either way there's a shithouse move from one of them, and it looks like Mad is now going to take that P1. It'll be interesting to have a chat afterwards, but as Josh tries to make that overtake on the final corner, they have no ERS, either of them though. And Mad will come home in P1 with Josh P2, Anthrax P3 and Noodle. And Gio battling hard, but Noodle managed to make the overtake. Gio's just on the inside though. Gio's on the inside. And comes home in P4 with a great overtake in the final corner. As Noodle made the overtake on the lap as Trappy comes home in P6. We'll follow Marty in the Mercedes as he comes home in P7. Noodle making the overtake down on the Las Vegas straight, and then Gio managed to use all his ERS to make the overtake coming home on the final straight, as Marty does make as Beast Mode P8. Itzley we'll see come home in P9, and then we'll just wait for Danny Ladd to round off the top 10. He's not even a lap behind, so that is us finished. Be interesting to have a chat with those two Alfa Romeo boys. I would say it's just racing. This is supposed to be fun, and you took the fun out of that by being absolute shite houses. As we'll join him on the grid then. Mad cup in the air. That's a shithouse move as well. You're winding people up. And his teammates. Josh on P2. And a great race there from Anthrax Robin, who pulled away from his competitors and behind him on P3. And the champagne's flowing. It is Vegas. The expensive stuff will be out. We're going to be doing champagne today. I don't normally do it. I don't know what brand that is. I've never seen that before, but it is the jumpers. And we'll finish up with the final grid here of F1 Mad P1, Romeo, Alfa Romeo Josh P2, and on the P3 on the podium of Vanthrax Robin. P4 for the Haas of Gio, making that fantastic final overtake on Noodle and becomes home P5. Trappy, who had that last couple of laps ago collision with VDV, coming home P6. Marty P7. P8 for Beast Motors. P9 for Italy. And then Denny rounding off the top 10. Getting that final championship point. Lucky Stout on P11, and last of the finishers of VDV, P12. And I think, if I'm right, it's not an official championship win for Josh, but I think he would have won it, and I think it is an official potential championship for the Alfa Romeo lads, who have absolutely bust it, and I suggest they need splitting up for next season. But that is it from us, and I think thank you for joining us here on Max Verstappen division. It was a pleasure to host that for you, and join us next week where we'll be in Saudi Arabia for race 9 and the penultimate race of the season. Enjoy the rest of your evenings, everybody. Take care.